car, and saw a woman going back to her car and dropped a nickel.
Right.
And
who was this?
this was someplace in Colorado.
Okay.
It's a story. It's on your email.
Okay.
Anyway, to make a long story short, turned out her husband had left her, and so she was estranged from her parents. She called her parents, and they told her to come home and bring her 3 kids. And she was on her way home, but she was out of money, and she'd spent her last. The doctor saw on the pump it was $4.95, and she dropped the nickel, so he picked it up and gave it to her, and realized what was wrong. So he filled up her car and on his credit card, and saw the kids looked hungry, so he went to McDonald's next door and bought them a big bag of hamburgers, and she thought he was an angel.
Sure.
And so anyway, she got that story, and so she came back with all this stuff about some of her problems with her daughter. Apparently her daughter hadn't talked to her in 2 years. Sounds like Vicky and your Uncle John. Anyway, that's I told your mother, I guess I'm becoming Mary's confessor.
Mary's confessor?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't imagine not having contact with family members, and especially, you know, I guess she has contact with her mom. I don't know how all that goes, but
Is she gonna cut her mom off? Not speak to her mother there for a while?
Peggy.
Yeah.
No. She's always kept the lines of communication open and done the right thing, said the right things, and taken the high road, and
Good.
but she doesn't pander to it either. I mean, she doesn't, you know, her mom should have just kept her mouth shut.
My mother-in-law told me when my mother and I were having troubles that I should be a dutiful daughter and do what I thought was best so that I would have no regrets when my mother died.
Right.
And that's exactly what I did.
Right.
I knew my mother was never going to be happy with me, but I was going to be a dutiful daughter and take care of her as best I could.
Absolutely.
That's what I did. I just can't imagine. I guess I can't imagine how mothers and daughters. I was a terrible teenager, and my mother never forgave me for it. Just know in life you gotta forgive the unimportant stuff.
Right.
It's just not important. It's
Right.
just-
Well, you and your mother just kind of had a personality conflict, didn't you?
I guess.
Where'd your mom grow up? Mom?
However, a lot of mothers get over it, and my mother never could get over it.
Where'd your mom grow up?
My mother, my grandfather, Silas Thompson, was, first he was a farmer out in Thurston County, Nebraska, and he went into town, and he was the first town cop of Wakefield, Nebraska. And my mother said he had to buy his own uniforms. My mother had 2 brothers. One died, Eugene, and I was named after him, called me Marjeanne.
And what was the name of the town?
But
What was the name of the town?
Wakefield, Nebraska.
Oh, so she grew up in Wakefield too.
Right. So my grandfather got crosswise of the town board because they wanted, had something to do with the sewage system they were putting in or what have you. He saw some corruption there, taking bribes or whatever. And he spoke out and they fired him and he went back to farming. Well, it wasn't long before they came and asked him to come back again and to be the town cop, and he died as he was that. So Mother did grow up in Wakefield. However, in her senior year in high school, her mother became very ill, and she stayed home, stayed out of school a year to take care of her mother. Then her mother got better, and my mother applied to nurses training in Omaha and went there and started, and then they found out she didn't have a high school degree. They told her to go home and get her high school degree. She never graduated from high school. So whenever we had the high school reunions that Bob and I went back to, she never went. Although she had gone there to school, she had never graduated, and she was always very hostile about it. Anyway, she went back, but she had had some nurses training by then. And she went to work for Mrs. Paul, who had sort of a home where they had what they used to call laying in, pregnancies, and they were going to have a child.
Man, just a minute.